Over its 125-year history, Ohio-based Lincoln Electric systematically drove its domestic competitors out of business, locking down the U.S. market for welding products. They achieved this monopoly without relying on a secret technological advantage. Instead, their success stemmed from a highly unorthodox system of human management. Welding is heavy, manual labor. Lincoln recognized early on that their output depended completely on the physical drive of the individual holding the torch. Therefore, they engineered a uniquely motivated workforce, treating the sheer, raw productivity of their employees as their ultimate competitive moat. Their compensation model was rigorous but highly lucrative. Workers were paid strictly based on their individual piece rate output, topped with an annual profit-linked bonus that could easily double their baseline income. This model shows their goal: sweating the assets. Lincoln transformed rigid fixed costs into fluid variable costs tracking market demand. As demand spikes, workers ground out 50-plus hours, pushing peak capacity. When demand plummets, workers reduced hours, preventing mass layoffs and bankruptcy during recessions. This elasticity insulated the company from the normal boom and bust cycles of the free market, resulting in a business model that was mathematically bulletproof within the United States. By the late 1980s, a major foreign competitor acquired a foothold in the U.S. market. Forced to play offense, Lincoln decided to take their strategy global. They aggressively poured the equivalent of over half their total sales into building new plants in Japan and Latin America, alongside 19 acquisitions across Europe and Mexico. Senior executives operated on the assumption that their U.S. incentive system would automatically scale and produce the exact same results anywhere on Earth. The leadership was betting that a mathematical formula could ignore local realities and still dominate any market it touched. The system broke almost immediately. In Europe and Japan, workers firmly rejected the eat-what-you-kill piece rate system, viewing the competitive pay structure with intense suspicion. Then, rigid foreign labor laws completely blocked the core strategy of human elasticity, effectively locking Lincoln's operational gears. In Germany, for example, the strict 35-hour workweek mandate made Lincoln's American expectation of 50-hour boom-time shifts a legal impossibility. Compounding the crisis, Lincoln had zero internally trained leaders with international experience. They relied on acquired local managers who fought to maintain their own autonomy, choosing resistance rather than adopting Lincoln's methods. Without the tight link between fluctuating sales demand and flexible manufacturing, the supply chain lost its rhythm. Unsold inventory rapidly ballooned out of control. The exact system designed to eliminate financial waste in America created a massive financial hemorrhage abroad because it failed to account for human culture. To survive, Lincoln had to break a century-old tradition. They abandoned their policy of internal promotion and recruited outside executives with strong international track records. This new management team stepped in and sold off or restructured the vast majority of those 19 foreign acquisitions from the 1980s to stop the financial bleeding. When they attempted international expansion again years later, the strategy shifted. They prioritized joint ventures and adapted their management approach to fit local labor conditions. Over time, the corporate DNA evolved. They built a cadre of managers with diverse international experience, capable of navigating different institutional contexts. By the mid-2010s, this localized approach yielded record sales, and the model proved resilient enough to stay profitable even through a 25% sales decline during the COVID-19 pandemic. Yet the scars of the first failure remain visible. Despite the recovery, profitability from their international operations still lags behind the results achieved in North America. A brilliant business strategy is heavily dependent on the ecosystem it was born in. To truly go global, a company must translate its core values into the local language of each new territory.